Hey guys, it's Andrew here from Crafter Support. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to share with you how to use Cricut Infusible ink on a 100% cotton dark colored t-shirt with the help of Cricut's glitter iron-on. Or you can use the semi-new Cricut glow-in-the-dark iron-on. That will work as well. The reason they work is because they have a high polyester count. Without that, you wouldn't be able to infuse ink into them, and that's why it's so important when you're using infusible ink that you have the material that you're pressing it onto is a high polyester count. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and you just need your infusible ink, either the glitter or the glow-in-the-dark vinyl, a weeding tool and a mat, and one of your whatever Cricut you want to use. So today we're going to be using the Joy just because it's handy and it's on my desk. And let's go ahead and jump right in. So here it's a 100% cotton t-shirt, navy blue, pre-washed, no fabric softener. And now we're just going to do the design images that we want to do. So I'm going to keep it a basic heart. We're going to size it at 4 inches wide. And if you keep the aspect ratio locked, then it'll just make it like 4 by 3.83. You're going to pick what machine you're using. I'm going to be using the Cricut Joy. And now you are ready to cut. So the next thing I'm going to do is share with you guys the infusible ink. If you watch my other videos, I go into detail on why it's in this black bag, why you keep the black bag, and put everything back. I do want to remind you to keep your hands free of lotions and oils and things like that when you're working with infusible ink so you don't smear it. It does come with butcher paper, and you can use all that. So now I'm just cutting down the sizes of infusible ink that I need. Again, I'm making 2 separate ones to share with you guys, but you would only need to cut 1 per size. And here I am just cutting the glow-in-the-dark vinyl as well. So the glow-in-the-dark vinyl was very interesting to cut. I was surprised at the thickness of it. So it is thicker than the glitter vinyl, because when I used the glitter vinyl setting to cut it, it didn't cut all the way through. So make sure that you are changing your cut settings in between each different material that you're using. So if you're just using the glitter vinyl, you can do that. Just set it for glitter vinyl, and then make sure when you go in to use your infusible ink to cut it, make sure you're switching your setting to infusible ink. So I'm just using a brayer to bray down my iron-on and just sticking it in the machine and getting it cut. So I just cleaned all of my mats, but I've had these mats for almost 2 years now, and they need not even restuck. I'm just going to purchase new ones because I've used them so much that even after cleaning them very well, they're just kind of lost their stick, but they've lasted a really long time to make a lot of projects with it. So like I said, just make sure that you're going in and changing your settings so that everything cuts properly. Your infusible ink, if you can't find it, all you have to do is go up to the right hand side, click on all materials, type in infusible ink, and it'll pop up and you can save that. So here's where I'm going into Design Space to make my cut. So remember, you need to make 2 cuts for each heart. So you need your base cut, which is either your glitter iron-on or your glow-in-the-dark iron-on. You need to make that cut, either one of those that you're using. And then you need to make the same cut with the infusible ink. And you need to mirror both images. So when you're cutting them, make sure you're clicking mirror, so that way they're mirrored. This heart doesn't really need it, but anytime you're working with infusible ink, you need to mirror the image. And the one thing I should have told you earlier is make sure it's shiny side down with the glitter iron-on and the glow-in-the-dark iron-on, but when you're using the infusible ink, it's design side up, shiny side down. So you should be able to see the design when you're cutting your infusible ink. So now I'm just cutting the second piece that I need. And the Joy just takes care of all of that. I really like the Joy. If you guys don't have the Cricut Joy, I'd like to know what most of you guys use to cut, like what machines you guys use. I have the Cricut Maker 3, the Explorer Air 2, and the Cricut Joy. And I'm thinking about purchasing the Explorer Air 3 if more people have that machine. I would definitely purchase that so that way there I can work with it to show you guys. So let me know what machine you use in the comments below. Okay, so now everything's cut, and I'm just going to put the cover back on my mat to keep it as clean of all dust and things like that as possible, and set that aside. So I'm just cleaning up my workspace. I like to try to keep it as neat as possible when I'm working with different layers. And now we're just going to peel the infusible ink and weed everything. So I'm just using a weeding tool to kind of break apart the fibers of the infusible ink. It is very thick, and when you're peeling it, it may sound like things are cracking and tearing, and that's normal. It sounds that way whenever you do it, but the machines give it such a nice cut that it peels up very easily. And the transfer sheet that it's on is super sticky, and that really helps as well. So here I'm doing the second one. Remember, you guys only have to cut one if you're only doing one heart. I'm putting 2 hearts using 2 different bases. Okay, so now I'm just going to peel this one. I'm not sure if this is the glitter or the glow in the dark, but either way, you have to weed all of your hearts that you have. And then we're going to get ready to place them on the t-shirt. I kind of want them like side by side, but like one higher than the other. And I want to put it a little bit like higher on the chest, closer to the neck. And I do need to run a lint roller over this because it just picks up all sorts of fun things. The next thing we need to do is set up our Easy Press. This is the Easy Press 2 Mint. And we're going to go into our heat and Cricut's heat guide, and I just have it saved to my phone, and we're going to type in what material we're using. So I'm using my Easy Press 2. It's going to ask me what material are you using. I'm using at this time, I think I do the glow in the dark first. So I pick the glow in the dark image like material first, and then I put it on for 100% cotton t-shirt, and it's going to tell me it needs to be set at 305 for 30 seconds. And I need to preheat the shirt for 5 seconds. So that's what we're going to do. If you just keep scrolling on your phone or on your computer, it'll tell you step by step everything you have to do to get the proper heat, temperature, the pressure, and the time. So that's why I really like this. It's not an app, it's just what I've saved to my phone that's on Cricut.com. So now we're just waiting for it to heat up, and then we can start preheating our shirt and pressing our glow in the dark vinyl. Now that our heat press is ready, I have our pressing mat out. I'm going to lay the shirt back down, and I'm going to pre-press it for 5 seconds. The reason you pre-press a shirt is just to get all of the moisture out of it and make sure that it's completely dry. So they do recommend that you press it for 5 seconds and then put your vinyl down on it. So the first one we're going to do is the glow in the dark, and I'm just going to line it up here to make sure it's where I want it, and it is. And now I'm just going to take the heat press and lay it directly on top of it without moving the heat press at all, the Easy Press at all. And I'm just going to click, basically it's the go button, the little C Cricut button, and push with high pressure. And as you can see, it's set at 305 and it's counting down to the 30 seconds. And once it's completely pressed, then we can let it cool, and then we can peel it. So it's important to let your vinyl cool if it tells you to let it cool through the heat guide. because you don't want to lift it because you may lift it off the shirt. You have to give it time to kind of like settle. So that's what we're doing here. And now I'm looking at the heat and temperature that I need to do the glitter iron on, because that's a different temperature and possibly a different time. So now that that's cooled off, we're going to go ahead and peel it, and it came out perfect. Now with the glow in the dark, you do need to charge it kind of like under a light. And now we're just setting up the easy press for the glitter vinyl, and that is 330 for 30 seconds. And we're just going to go ahead and press it with firm pressure. I have this sped up so it doesn't take as long for you guys to sit through, but I am putting like hard pressure. Now for that, you need to flip the shirt and then reheat it in the back for 15 seconds. And now you can peel the carrier sheets off once they cool down a little bit. And the next thing we're going to do is set our easy press for infusible ink. Now that is a higher temperature. I believe it's 385 for like 40 seconds, I believe. Yes. So while that's heating up, I'm just looking through my my phone, and it's telling me I need to make sure I use my butcher paper, and I need to place the infusible ink side down on my project. And I also need to cut away so that none of the carrier sheet is touching either one of the hearts. So in the last one, it was fine that the carrier sheet was touching the heart I was pressing, but this time, because you don't want a different amount of pressure on your infusible ink, you want it to transfer over evenly. You don't want that. So now we're going to put our parchment paper down to protect our heat press, and we're going to press it with heavy pressure for the 40 seconds. And I would suggest letting it cool, but I have zero patience. So I start to peel mine, and it turns out perfect. It's super cute. The heart, the glow in the dark one was a little off, but it still turned out really cute. So here's a picture with the lights off. It does glow really cool. Now this wasn't charged yet, like it wasn't sitting under a light for a very long time. When it does, it glows really bright. But yeah, so they turned out super cute. You can wash these, it's not going to wash off. Again, it's 100% cotton t-shirt. If you guys have any questions, comment down below. Definitely join us on our Facebook group, Crafter Support. You just have to request to be a member, and then I will go in and allow you to be a member. And I also will have a digital printable there that you guys can print off that just walks you step by step through what we just did. And yeah, so I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share this video. And until next Monday, yep, I post every Monday and Thursday. So definitely come back and see what else I have to share. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.